Take us a little inside your relationship. Tell us a little something about the Coach K JWill dynamic we may not know.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. We're pretty transparent. We don't hide anything. So, I think what most people don't realize is that he graduated in 3 years, and he got great genes from his very, very well-educated parents. So he was actually a darn good student, and in addition to being a two-time National Player of the Year. Other than that, he did a really bad job for me.
I had a lot of room for growth defensively, Zubin. How about that? Coach, first and foremost, I hope you're doing well. And I'm curious, how have these last couple of months been? Just, how do you communicate with your team? What kind of protocols are in place? Obviously, there's a lot of questions looming around. Will we have college basketball or not?
Yeah, well, we're going to have college basketball at some time. I think it's important as a sport, men's college basketball, that we are united and stick together. I think what's happened with football has not been good, and that we have a united front. And being a military person, I believe in no man left behind. In other words, if the Ivies are doing something a little bit different than the Pac-12, Big Ten, let's make sure we take care of our brothers and come up with a solution where all these kids have an opportunity to play, and it might mean adjusting the season, the timetable of the season. But that can be done. The main thing is to have a tournament, to figure out what metrics you use to get into the tournament, and maybe have everybody get into the tournament. And also, what will be the medical protocols going forward, so that everyone will be treated in the same way. For me, it's been as a leader, it's a time to be extremely fluid. I think you listen even more, find new ways of communicating. And we took our time. We didn't bring our guys back until 2 weeks ago, and they started school yesterday. And I think that was smart, because then they weren't just sitting around in their rooms. We had some continuity going, and it's gone really well. My guys have done a great job, my staff and my players.
Coach K, I don't know if you remember me or not, but I'm your former two-guard, Keyshawn.
Yeah, you're the. I think you were my two guard when we were 11 and 17. JWill was my point guard when we were winning national championship. But I still love you the same. Yeah,
I know, Coach. What conversations have you had with the NCAA about the likelihood of getting going again, playing basketball?
Keyshawn, you bring up a great point in that it's one of the problems that college basketball has, is that you don't talk to the NCAA. You talk to a person. And our sport is run by committee. And it's not – Dan Gabbitt's doing a good job as senior vice president now for men's college basketball. But this is a time that we need pinpoint responsibility and a face and a leader, and where this doesn't go to oversight committees, and it can get committed out. And John Thompson used to say, we're always fighting them, they. The NCAA is really a pronoun. It's not a name. It should be Dan Gabbett. It shouldn't be them, the NCAA, those guys. You don't get things done unless you have face-to-face communication and pinpoint responsibility. And Dan has been put in a good position. He needs to be put in a higher level of position and have his own task force to not just handle this situation, but to move forward. And just for you guys to know, we now have a new executive director for the Coaches Association, and Craig Robinson, who's took over for Jim Haney, and Craig is brilliant. And I think this is a time for our sport just to move forward and have a different structure. We're the thing that the NCAA is most concerned about, because men's college basketball in the tournament pays for something like 98% of it produces 98% or more of the money for the NCAA, not college football or any other sport. So, yeah, we need to have the tournament. We can't have it where 2 years in a row you do not have the NCAA tournament. And, guys, I think that's where you should start is make sure we have the tournament. Doesn't make any difference when it is, because we don't even know when the NBA season is going to be next year. And we should look at them to see how they navigate the waters, going forward. They've navigated it really well with the bubble, and they don't have the NBA. They have Adam Silver, and that's what I'm saying is what we really need in college basketball.
Coach, what are your thoughts on the way everything's been happening in college football? Obviously, I think that, I know the two entities operate differently with the Power Five and then with the NCAA for basketball, but obviously the Pac-12 and the Big Ten deciding not to have a fall season, while the SEC, Big 12, and ACC are still diligently moving forward.
Well, again, I think people have the right to make the decisions that they think are best for them and the people they represent or they're leading. I don't understand why the 5 medical teams of the Power 5 conferences could not come up with whatever the decision is and do it for college football. It becomes very fragmented, and that's what I want to make sure it doesn't happen for men's college basketball, where we're kind of all over the place, and we need to be in one place together and be unified.